show you how an event mesh works and how you can form an event mesh for horizontal scaling purposes. So I have a broker deployed in that I deployed myself in an EC2 instance on AWS. It's running version 9.13 and has the default VPN. Right, so we are going to publish messages to this broker and consume messages. Pretty simple stuff. So if we create a queue over here, I'll create Q1 exclusive, keep it like that, apply, and then we will just give it my favorite topic subscriptions, equity, it's US. We'll use wildcard greater than sign. Okay, perfect. Then we will spin up a consumer using our STK-perf command line utility. So here's the command, and we can see from Q1 there is a consumer binding to it. Perfect. And if we start publishing data to this instance, so we will publish data to the topic equities US NYSE Apple. It'll be persistent quality of service. We'll publish a bunch of messages, and the message rate will be 10 messages per second, and each message will be of 100 bytes size. Okay, great. So as soon as we run this, you can see that our consumer is now consuming messages from our local queue. Perfect, as we expected. Now, what if we are getting too many messages and you need to horizontally scale your infrastructure? So you need to add more brokers to your network. You need to link them together and make sure that the messages that are being published on one broker are accessible to consumers on other brokers. So you can do that with Solace very easily. It's called forming an event mesh. So having a network of brokers which are using something called dynamic message routing to easily route your messages to subscribers that are on different nodes, so on different brokers. So you don't have to configure or pre-configure where messages need to be routed for what topics. It's very dynamic in that sense. So I've already linked this broker to another service, another broker service that I have deployed using Solace Cloud. So Solace Cloud is Solace's SaaS offering. So I've spun up a developer instance, very small instance of the PubSub Plus broker running on AWS in US East, North Virginia. Here it is, and you can tell that it's running using Solace Cloud, messaging.solace.cloud, whereas the one that I deployed myself is running on an EC2 instance. So you can see that the URL are different for the two brokers. So what I did was I connected my EC2 broker to my Solace Cloud broker, and you can see that here. If you go to clustering, I created a cluster. So this is my broker, primary broker, and then I connected it to my cloud service running via Solace Cloud. This is pretty easy to do. You can just right click here and create external link and just give it your credentials. So this is a binary link. It's a two-way link, where bidirectional link, where messages that are published here on the primary broker will make it to the Solace Cloud broker, and vice versa as well. As long as there are appropriate subscribers or topic subscriptions on each side. Okay, so let's see how that would work. So currently my publisher and this consumer are connecting to the same EC2 instance broker. So now let's see what happens if I connect to the Solace Cloud broker with the same topic subscriptions. So I'm going to go to the Solace Cloud broker, queues, and I'm going to create a queue. So I'll call it Q2, right? And keep it default settings, and I will give it a topic subscription. So I'll say, give me data for all NYSE securities. Great. And as soon as I add that, you will see that my queue has started getting data. That's because the messages are now traversing from primary to the AWS Solace Cloud instance as well, because now there's an active subscription via this queue that is saying, hey, I'm interested in this data as well. So don't just keep it to yourself, send it over to this broker too. So this is how we're horizontally scaling our event mesh by adding another broker. You can see that now if I spin up another consumer, see, here's my consumer, but instead of connecting to the EC2 instance, which is what we were doing before, I'm going to connect to my Solace Cloud instance dev. Okay, perfect. Now we're getting, all right, so our queue in the Solace Cloud instance is now also being drained. So we can see that both queues are receiving data and we're consuming the data. Okay, now we don't have to rely on queues. We can get data through topics as well, right? So let's do that. So if we again add another consumer, let's not make that error again. And over here, we're going to copy this. Oh no. And this time, instead of binding to a queue, we are going to subscribe to a topic, and we'll say subscribe to this topic. And great, we'll start getting data. So we can see that messages are being replicated or distributed across the event mesh, whether they are persistent or non-persistent.